Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome back to our show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Tanh Truong. And what we're going to talk about, besides his journey in business and in real estate, we're going to talk about his capital raising and some of the lessons he's learned or is learning over this current deal that he's doing. It should be really interesting. Remember, guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, really all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business. You know, we provide the tools, community, and training to grow the business you want to have, which helps live the life that you want to live. So, Tanh, man, welcome to our show.
Thanks, John. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm anxious to hear your lessons learned. I love hearing real life, experiences and examples that, a lot of our audience can relate to. But before we get into all that, why don't you spend a few minutes, tell our audience a little bit about you, kind of your background in real estate and business and how you got here.
Sure. Well, like John said, my name is Tanh. I actually started my career as a pharmacist. I practiced for roughly 3 years, and I essentially did that to pretty much appease my parents, to give them that nice shiny piece of paper so that they can brag to their friends, right? Brag
Frame
to the community.
Put it on the wall, all that cool
100%,
stuff.
100%. So I got the piece of paper. I wasn't really a great student during pharmacy school because my mind was always focused around finances and investments, things like that. And once I graduated, I kind of took that full tilt to learn a little bit more about investing, taking it deeper, right? I would always jump down rabbit holes and just absorb all the knowledge that I could. Mm-hmm. And throughout that, it only took me roughly a year to absorb all this shit, as it relates to investing in general, stock market, equities,
Sure.
etc. Rabbit holes after rabbit hole, I found real estate, and through real estate, I jumped into it full-fledged probably around end of 17, and I graduated pharmacy school in 2017. So that's when I bought my first rental. Okay. And that transpired into 2018, 19, and 20. So during those years, and obviously, as you guys know, 2020 was the COVID era, the COVID season there. So during 2019 and 20, over a period of probably 14 months or so, I and some partners, we acquired probably another 14 doors of residential real estate. So small multifamilies, single families, and we did everything under the sun, held, bird, wholesaled. The only thing I probably didn't do was probably note investing in the residential side. And with that, we started butting heads. We started disagreeing on a couple things, who's putting in more time, who should be getting paid, blah, blah, blah. And I said something that I never thought that I would have said. I was like, you know what? What if we just sold everything and disbanded? Because I was kind of a buy and hold guy pretty much forever. Mm-hmm. So that period took roughly a year or so. And after that, so everyone parted ways, and I was kind of sitting in a position where I didn't know what to do. Do I do the same thing? Do I continue wholesaling, finding off-market deals, or do I transpire and do something else?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And, I said I did the wholesaling by myself for a little bit. I didn't really like it, and I essentially moved on to commercial real estate. After all of my holdings were gone, I stepped away from pharmacy after practicing for 3 years full-time, and I put my back against the wall and just put everything that I could into commercial real estate. And pretty much from there, John, I grew a portfolio of roughly $20 million that was really pretty much the first 2.5 years. So finding deals off market or on market, putting myself in a team, and now today we kind of own everything from retail strip malls to flex spaces, warehouses, office space, things like that. Anything that people aren't living in.
Very cool. Yeah, and I've been, lately getting a lot of people talk about flex space. But let's go back. You were doing wholesaling. Did you ever flip a house? Did you ever do the fix and flip?
I did. Yes.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you choose commercial, non-residential stuff as opposed to maybe just taking a step up into, bigger multifamily apartments, those type of things?
No, great question, because that's pretty much the normal route that anybody would take.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you go to any real estate get-together, any little conference or any local conferences, right, and you're networking, you talk to people, everybody is pretty much on the same trajectory. How many fucking 5 units and 20 units are there out there? You know what I mean? Right. So everybody you talk to, they're growing in a similar fashion. They'll flip, get some capital, they'll find the next thing. 1 to 4 units is kind of the next stepping stone there.
Yeah,
it's cut out for you. The plan's there. Right. Look at what the next guy's doing. Now it's 5 to 20 units, right? Everybody's looking for the same shit. So my thing is, how do I make myself better or stand out versus everybody else here who's probably been doing it longer than I have?
Right.
In order to find the next 1 to 4 or 5 to 20 unit or from 20 to 100, right? So the competition is fierce there. That sandbox is a little crowded.
Very.
So from my perspective, going back to my Buffett roots, be a contrarian. Look for something where somebody else is not playing
doing,
right? Or it's less crowded. So from my perspective, in the commercial realm, the non-residential realm, there's a lot less players in there. So I'd rather compete with 3 or 4 guys or maybe 10 guys versus 25, 100 guys, right? So that was why I transitioned into commercial. I guess the second piece of that, John, is that it's always been elusive to me. Like if you guys Google commercial real estate, you're not going to learn, or from my experience, it takes a lot more time to figure out all this information. When I did it, there was very basic rudimentary information, and it was all revolved around apartments. So I guess I was challenging myself to learn something new that nobody else knew.
So let's talk about that learning piece. How did you learn it? I mean, a lot of people, when they're making a transition into a whole different asset class, you have one of 2 ways you learn. YouTube U,
yep,
or actually one of 3. YouTube U, School of Hard Knocks, or pay a mentor.
Yep. So once again, I went to YouTube U for a little bit, but I couldn't find anything. It was all basic shit, right? And the School of Hard Knocks, I didn't have the balls to actually do that. I didn't jump out to find something because I have no idea what the hell I was doing, right?
Yeah.
So luckily I found a local mentor who was in my market, right? And I hounded this cat. Like I was Facebook stalking him for weeks over weeks over weeks. Kept telling me no, 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 no. But then all of a sudden, he gave me the yes. And I said, hell yeah. Packed my shit, went to his place, hung out. And I think the biggest lesson for the audience here from a short form perspective is that I led with value, and I was there to figure out his bottlenecks and how I could help him versus being there and asking what could he do for me. And that really gained his respect. And essentially, I acquired a mentor without even purposely looking for it for free. Whereas, with John, like you mentioned, there are a lot of mentors out there that are paid, and luckily mine is not.
Well, and I think you that's the biggest nugget.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Maybe of what we all talked about so far, excuse me, is that you gotta put yourself out there, and you gotta be able to find someone that's going to help you learn it, right? You gotta be able to take advantage of their mistakes, of their times, or the times they messed up, and kind of shorten your growth. So for you, as you transition into this, and also too, though, leading with value is always, I think, going to get you a lot farther than coming in asking for something. Like you said, solve their problem, they'll help solve yours. What were some of the struggles that you found in that transition, or difference from the wholesaling and what you were doing to the commercial part? Like, what were a couple of the biggest differences?
Oh God, I think everything in the commercial world is completely different. So if you look at any business plan, you have to look at it from an overview perspective. If you can't understand it from an overview, 30,000-foot view perspective, you really don't understand it. You want to keep it simple, right? Wholesaling, what are you? You're the middleman. You're marrying the buyer to the end seller, and it's all through your network to make that happen, and you get a fee as your reward. Buy and hold. You buy a property, you get a tenant, you make rent. That's how you make money. Flip. Buy an undervalued asset, fix it up with
Resell it.
X cost, resell it, hopefully for a profit, right? Those are the simple models there. Now, when you talk about BRRRRs, those are a little bit more difficult, right? And obviously, from what I'm saying, it's a lot more simple than it is. You have to, once you dig into the granularity of it, now you got, okay, how much does a kitchen really cost? What's the countertops like? What type of materials do I put in the exterior roof, etc.? How do I budget for all this? It gets a lot more granular, but let's look at it from a simple perspective. From a commercial perspective, everything changes. You can flip it, you can wholesale it, you could hold it, you can do all of those things, but now the asset itself is completely different because now the lease changes. And when I mentioned that every deal within the commercial realm is different, this is why. You can have a gross lease, a modified gross lease, a single net, double net, triple net, absolute net. So there's different leases here, right? And that spells out the relationship that you have with a tenant. And within that lease, also, it tells you what you're responsible for in terms of maintenance or repairs or replacements, HVAC, roof, parking lot, exterior structures, things like that, right? So those are all different. And now within these real estate or commercial real estate asset classes, you're looking at retail, office, industrial, mixed use. Those are the four main. But then each one of these four main classes have sub-asset classes. So you have to know the nuances of those asset classes in order to invest in those deals. And this is where if you don't really know, if you don't have your bearings in place, this is where it could really kick you in the ass, right? So I guess the main thing from a commercial to a residential perspective is the leases. But then without getting too deep into it, there's a ton of other nuances that goes into it.
I'm sure. Is it more difficult to get capital for commercial than it is for residential?
I would say so, because I think people understand residential a lot better. They understand residential, they understand multifamily way more than they do understand some of these other asset classes. It's like the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah. Well, I mean, while we're on the topic of capital, let's talk about the capital raising. I know when we talked a little bit prior to our recording that you learned some lessons from this current deal you're doing, capital raising. So why don't you share with our audience, maybe some of those lessons, because they could be in that same spot.
I think overall, if you really look at it, the main challenge is the understandability of the asset class. But once you talk to investors, you have to really simplify it to have them be able understand it. Understanding it is crucial. Right. If someone doesn't understand something, they're confused. And once they're confused, they're most likely going to say no. Right?
Confused mind says no all the time.
1,000%. 1,000%. But what I truly learned about this particular deal that I'm working on, it's a 16-unit office building. It's very similar to if we were to purchase 16 single families or 16 smaller multi-unit buildings. And from my perspective, I have to look at it from the eyes of the investor. How do I word this, or how do I explain this so simple?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
That they can understand it. But now the problem becomes you have some other investors who are very analytical. So you have to know your audience, right? Who's your audience? Are they hedge fund guys? Are they doctors? Are they lawyers, high income earners? Or have they done this a while? You have no idea. So, you're blasting all this shit out and you're just hoping somebody comes in, but now you have to cater it to your audience. So I like to keep it simple. If I put $100,000 in, what am I going to make every year? When am I going to get the distributions? And what am I going to make in how long?
Yep.
That's all I care about.
Yep. Easy peasy.
But now there are some guys that are super analytical, right? They'll look at all these metrics, IRR, AAR.
Cash on cash. I mean, what am I getting back? Yeah, it's like...
That's all I'm about, John. I'm all about cash on cash and timing.
Yeah.
Tell me when and what.
Yeah.
That's all you got to tell me.
When
but some
and
of these
how
guys,
much, man? That's all I got to know.
These guys are asking IRR. I'm like, dude, I have no idea what the IRR is. I didn't even calculate the IRR. But if you want it, give me a day or so. I'll figure it out.
Right. So what other lessons have you learned about capital raising? Like, I mean, or maybe better yet, but like, what are some tips that you could give our audience on, effective capital raising or things that worked for you?
Well, the one thing I'll say is that there's a lot of capital raisers out there, and you have to really vet your capital raisers. And it's kind of like a marriage, right? You have to trust them, and that's harder said than done. And what I'm trying to caution is that a lot of people are doing it illegally. You have to be a registered broker-dealer in order to effectively do it. But then there's a lot of other guys out there who are not. They're working in a fund-to-fund structure under a broker-dealer, which is fine, but some are not. Right. So those are the ones that are not doing it legally. So that's one thing of caution. And to your question, John, how to effectively raise capital, I don't have the best answer for you here because some things work differently for different people. I am very unorthodox. Like I mentioned, I cuss a lot, and I'm a shitty liar, and I'm a shitty salesman. So if anybody...
And you're honest.
I try to be, right? If you're a good salesman, you might do perfectly fine. But for me, I suck at all those things. I tell the story, I tell what it is and what I see. If you would like to invest in it, great. If you don't, not my problem. Cool. I'll go find somebody else that sees what I see, right? And aside from that, I invest or I find capital or I find investors untraditionally. I find them at a bar. I never, if I'm at a conference, I'm going out talking to people. Yeah, that's cool. A couple words here and there, but how do they really trust you, right?
Yeah.
And from my perspective, after 1 to 2 drinks, a lot of times I can really tell who that person is. And 1 to 2 drinks will probably give me 30 minutes with them.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're a slugger, that might take me, if you can drink that in 5 minutes, I might not have enough time to figure out who you are.
Right, exactly.
But for me, after 2 drinks, 3 drinks, 4 drinks, whatever, I'm most likely still the same guy. I might slur my words a little bit more. I might curse a lot more, but I'm still the same guy, and I still tell you like it is. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm going to cut to the chase. If you want to know who I really am, this is who I really am. And you take it or leave it.
Yeah. And that's important, right? And that's important to be genuine and be authentic. And that resonates with a lot of people, and they can read through the bullshit.
Yeah.
Because they have so much bullshit being thrown at them all the time.
Oh, dude.
So what would you say over your time and your growth in business and all you're doing? Like, what were some of the keys to your success? Like some things that kept you driving, or some habits that you have that kept you kind of pushing forward?
Oh, man. So I'll give you 2 here. As far as habits go, I will tell you that the Miracle Morning will lay you out the best habits that you can follow. Yep. And the acronym is SAVERS. Silence, affirmation, vision, E, exercise, reading, and scribing. So it doesn't have to follow that particular
order,
structure, or sequence, but you can customize it to yourself, but as long as you do them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe one of them doesn't really resonate with you. I would say trust it first before you take it out. But I've done that for years. I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go through my routine, and that was one of the years where I read 40-something books. And the knowledge that you gain from reading these books and following these habits was astronomical. It really exponentially moved me in a direction where I was dangerous from a intellectual standpoint, from a business perspective. So habits-wise, I would recommend that upon anybody. Mm-hmm. Just knowledge in general, right? And creating some of those habits. And if you want to learn more about habits, Atomic Habits is a really good book.
Atomic Habit. I was thinking that same thing. Incredible book.
My favorite book out there.
Yeah.
And the last thing I will say from your question, John, is the $1 billion idea within probably, I don't know, 100 pages, 150 pages, and it's probably going to take you maybe 3 hours to read, is from the book called The Go-Giver by Bob Berg is one of the co-authors. I interviewed him. Yep. That's the one right there. It's, I won't spoil it for you, but essentially it gives you 5 laws that you should live by or practice in and of itself. But it's a fable, very, very quick read. I tell everybody the $1 billion idea is within that book. Yep. If you don't understand it, ChatGPT it, figure out a summary, figure out how to understand it. But I tell everybody that, and I think, and that's what I follow, John. I lead with value, and that's how I've gotten to where I am today, and that's how I've built the network today. And I think if I continuously do it, it should lead to a huge fruition.
Give more in value than you receive.
I love it.
Good old Pindar.
Oh
yeah. I just finished my 3rd reread of it like a week ago, so that's why I have it on my desk. But well, cool, man. So real quick, kind of tell our audience, like, what are you working on? Do you have any deals you're working on? Maybe someone out there that wants to invest.
Yeah. So the most recent deal that I have, it's currently under contract. I'm going to close on at the end of the month. It's paying out a 7% pref, so you're going to get your money day one. Distributions are quarterly. The idea is, once again, we're going to purchase those buildings and sell them off. They are valued at roughly $400,000 a piece. We're coming in at $218,000 a piece.
Ooh.
At roughly $40 a square foot in a really nice suburb of Louisville. If you want more information, please reach out. You can find me at protonprofits.com. Super active on Instagram. I'm sure John will put all the handles.
Yeah, we'll
on
put
all
that
shit
in the show notes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
The coolest thing I'm most proud of recently is I did write a book. It's nice. One of 3. The other 2 is on hiatus right now because I got all this other shit I'm dealing with on selling some properties and acquiring properties. But the only one that I have currently out is called Value Over Volume, the foundation of commercial real estate. It's not going to teach you everything you should know about commercial real estate, but I think it should get you at least 40 to 50% of the way there. And once again, it's my personality. I curse a lot, so if that's not your style, you're not going to like the book. It's as if I'm sitting in front of you talking to you. It's kind of the feel that I was going for.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Outside of that,
very cool.
I'm happy to connect with anybody who has anything question related to commercial real estate. Happy to talk. Happy to help.
Awesome, guys. Reach out if you have any interest in commercial. You have interest in investing in them. Tom, thank you so much, dude. That was a great conversation, man. I really enjoyed it, guys. I hope you took some good nuggets out there and enjoyed the show. And we will see you guys on the next one. Cheers.
Thanks for having me. See you guys.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.